Rockin' Mountain Productions proudly presents Grassroots Radio. Welcome to Grassroots Radio. This is episode 2. We had so much fun the first time around. We decided to go for another spin. So thanks for joining us. As you may have heard, we decided to blow the roof off the joint right off the hop with Canada's self-made indie queen of future pop, Grimes, featuring Blood Diamonds with their track Go. Hard to believe that song is a decade old already. Sounds like it could have been released yesterday. What a banger. So we're kicking off this episode the same way we wrapped up our first, with exceptional, kick-ass Canadian female artists. Up next is a dynamic electro-pop duo from Edmonton, Purity Ring, with Stranger Than Earth. Get your dancing shoes on, folks.
The smoke filled you up. I wasn't thinking about you. You have a mind to make sight of the weight you pick up. I wasn't thinking about you. Again, I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. Again, I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. There is a color that shines through your skin. seasons misled, stronger than roots. When our parts parted, edgy, bled and bled and bled. I wasn't thinking about you. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. There is no lesson in magic. There were untimely dreams where I knew. Woken in a fog, gone sweated, and reckoned none of it had come from you. There is no lesson in magic. There were untimely dreams where I knew. Woken in a fog, gone sweated, and reckoned none of it had come from you. Pity seek what we might lose, but in a week might our weakness elude. There was a staggered shift in my hips, so how swiftly it shook the dew from my lips. There was a danger that seeped from my skull, how it dripped on us all, but it wasn't your fault. We are stranger than earth, with our seasons misled, stronger than roots. When our parts parted, she bled and bled and bled. I wasn't thinking about you. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't thinking about you. Again, 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 I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't thinking about you. I wasn't. And we break downstairs with our fevers in the air. I forgot to ask how I only left them there. How thick it sits and why your eyes glare. How thick it sits and why your eyes glare. Pity seek what we might lose, but in a week might our weakness elude.
Wow, that was Megan James and Corin Roddick of Purity Ring with Stranger Than Earth from their unbelievable 2015 album, Another Eternity. Now, as I explained on our first episode, the foundation of Grassroots Radio is really twofold. Celebrating and elevating those who dedicate themselves to creating something from nothing with their own two hands while building community for the benefit of those around them. And secondly, spinning amazing music, as chosen by myself, our volunteers, our guests, and you, the listeners. You can reach us at grassrootsradio@icloud.com with your suggestions and requests. On our first episode, we were lucky enough to sit down with Jasper resident Daryl Savage, president of the Jasper Skate Park Committee, to discuss the new skate park that is being constructed here in Jasper after 10 years of perseverance by Daryl and the committee members. If you missed it, be sure to check out our first episode. Today's guest has also long called Jasper home and has given much of his time and talent to enriching his community. You may know him as a musician, as 1/3 of the local band Via and the Derailers. Or perhaps you know him as an accomplished artist of many mediums. Here today to talk about his new exhibit of paintings entitled Cities of Color is the multi-talented Greg Deagle. Now, as I do with all of my guests, I've asked Greg to bring some music with him, which I'm really looking forward to, as he has picked a couple cool tracks from a band that is new to me, and I'm excited for him to share them with you. Also back in the studio to entertain and enlighten us is the trio of Scott Crabbe, John Strugnell, and Wade Rimstad. But before Greg and the boys and I get into it, I had a couple more tunes from some Canadian women for you. This next artist has totally taken the music world by storm recently. From her 2023 album, Think Later, this is Calgary's Tate McRae with Run for the Hills.
Hotels, late nights, hands through my hair. Long talks, red eyes, clothes everywhere. Missing a moment when you're still there. You got a thing you can't find nowhere. Kissing, screaming, straight back to war. I'm walking out until I lock the door. Maybe the danger's covered by the thrill. 'Cause I know I should be running for the hills. The way you touch me, straight to the heart, yeah, it cuts me. 'Cause I know deep down that it's never be us. Never be more than just something that's fucking me up. Don't tease me, keep me around like it's easy. When you know deep down that it's never be us. Never be more than just something that's fucking me up. I know that when it's all done, I'll hate you bad in the long run, but somehow it never ends. My heels on the edge of your bed again, yeah. I get obsessed with you. All that I want is attention from you. Breaking up my life and breaking my rules, it's true. The way you touch me, straight to the heart, yeah, it cuts me. 'Cause I know deep down that it's never be us. Never be more than just something that's fucking me up. Don't tease me, keep me around like it's easy. When you know deep down that it's never be us. Never be more than just something that's fucking me up. Should run for the hills, should run for the hills. Should we run for the hills the way you touch me? Should run for the hills, should run for the hills. Should we run for the hills the way you touch me?
That was Run for the Hills by Tate McRae. In July, I'll be taking my daughter Jada to see her perform on the Budweiser stage in Toronto. I'm really excited as it's going to be our first concert together, just the two of us. And I splurged to get the VIP tickets, so we're pretty stoked for that. Okay, our guest, Greg Deagle, is in the building, as are Wade, Scotty, and Johnny. But just before we get started, I want to wrap up our Canadian women intro by kicking your teeth in with a punk rock duo from Vancouver, the Pack AD. This is their killer track, Creepin' Jenny.
Strange walls for hire. We've been laying traps all night. We're laughing mortified.
Yeah, baby, what a tune. That was the Pack AD with Creepin' Jenny from their 2014 critically acclaimed album, Do Not Engage. Now, if you can get to Vancouver for June 21st, they're playing the Rickshaw Theatre. The venue will likely be blown to smithereens by the time they're done. So if you ever wanted to see a show at the Rickshaw, that may be your last chance. Now that song was meant to get you in the mood for the tune I've chosen to introduce my guest, Greg Deagle. For those of you who've been in Jasper a while, the name Deagle and music likely go hand in hand. Not just because of Greg, but because of his nephew, Tommy. In the early aughts, Jasper was home to a much adored local outfit named Sonnets, and they rocked many a stage in this town. Tommy was the bassist for Sonnets. While the band eventually called it a day, Tommy made his way to Edmonton, where he is now a guitarist in a wicked band known as Civilization Days. This is the title track from their 2023 EP, Destinations, featuring Tommy on lead guitar. Hang on tight, y'all. This one goes to 11.
Making sure the flame's right. Don't leave nothing behind.
Hi, Greg.
Hey,
So, I'm sure you're familiar with that tune. Does it bring out the proud uncle in you?
well, Tommy is definitely the wild card of the Deagle family. Yeah, yeah, I'm very proud of his accomplishments, and yeah, he's on a trajectory.
I think he has been for a few decades now. I mean, I've only sort of noticed him from the periphery, being a little older and rolling in different circles, but I certainly caught a sonnet show or two over the years.
Yeah, well, I remember a time when he was boarding more or less with my mother in a guest room, and he would yeah, thump away continuously on electric bass. It was just a daily ritual. Drove Mum crazy.
Right, because he was the bassist in sonnets, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So does music and art run in the family? Is it just you and Tommy?
Oh, it absolutely does run in the family. I come from a lineage of piano tuners, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, which is yeah, kind of an unusual lineage, but that is the at the root of the matter is that piano was very much a part of my upbringing, and as a family, we were the type of family who gathered for nightly sing-alongs with guitar accompaniment and guest musicians, and then being the youngest in a family of four, my older siblings were very well versed in the music of the time, so I grew up in a milieu of 70s music, from Grateful Dead to New Riders of the Purple Sage to Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell.
Right. Wow.
And a lot of this exemplary music was passed down to me by my older siblings.
Cool.
And I'm, one of those guys who currently sits with a vast collection of vinyl, much of it heritage. So yeah, it's just been in my life since for as long as I can remember.
Well, I would think being a piano tuner takes an ear for a note or two. Huh?
Well, the one thing that I inherited from my piano tuning lineage was perfect pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. That would come in handy. So you have a new exhibit. I was checking it out the other day at Andromeda Cafe called Cities of Color. It seemed to me like there was a different city featured in each piece of work, and then there was a couple of grids that almost looked as if they were the jumping off point in the beginning. Can you talk about that?
Yes, that's right.
The whole process behind it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Cities of Color. It's my second show at Andromeda Coffee in the past year. Cities of Color comes after Solo Andromeda, which was a collection of pop minimalism painted in synthetic polymer on stretch canvas. And after Solo Andromeda ran its course, I turned my attention to a commission portrait in a very traditional oil portrait based on the personage of Charlotte Small, who was the wife of an explorer, David Thompson, who was involved in the early explorations of the Jasper area.
Yeah, pretty famous dude in these parts.
Yeah, very much so. And so for a 6-month period, I immersed myself in oil painting until I kind of burned out on oil painting. The commission project more or less spiraled due to staff changes in the publishing world, and I ultimately ended up turning that portrait around on my easel, and couldn't look at it any longer, and needed to take a complete break from painting altogether.
You'd put so much into it, and it came to nothing. Is that it?
Yeah, that's right. And so anyway, 5 or 6 weeks into my hiatus from painting, I needed to do something about it and get my hand moving across the page again. So I resorted to painting very basic black and white grids in watercolor medium as a form of self-therapization and journaling. And as these grids evolved, I started to wonder what they would look like if I was to infill the negative space with color. And that became almost I guess I would call it a trope or a rhythm. And these small paintings became almost habit-forming or ritualistic. And before I knew it, I had well over 50 paintings, and then it was an editing exercise. But as the series evolved, I had to ask myself what was the narrative, what was sort of the driving force behind these paintings, and I realized that they made me, with their intersectionalities, they made me think of cities, and therein lies the narrative. And so just going by intuition, each painting in the series is reminiscent of an international city, from Delhi to Tokyo to New York, Mexico City, Lima, and it became kind of a painter's travelogue.
Yeah, I noticed each one had its own distinction for sure. But it reminded me a little bit of a festival that's about to come to Jasper, Uplift.
Yeah.
In that it would take these drab, dull, walls, surfaces, and bring them to life. And that your original grids probably looked a lot like Parks Canada's approved color palette before you got a hold of them.
They were even more stark.
That seems hard to believe.
Yeah. I'm really happy to say that the series did garner the interest of the Uplift Mural Festival, and I don't intend to paint a mural anytime soon, but the festival endorsed the series as a highlight of the preliminary festival season, and very graciously agreed to let their name stand behind the exhibit.
Well, that's great. I'm sure they're happy to have you along. It's their third season, and you've been here countless years. So I don't know who's riding whose coattails in that situation. Yeah. Well, but it's nice that it's a complimentary relationship, regardless.
Yeah, I actually sit on the jury of the Uplift Mural Festival, and I had the somewhat onerous task of evaluating portfolios from international artists who were interested in exhibiting here. I was stunned when the directors informed me that they had received 168 portfolios.
Incredible.
Yeah, I only had to review 30. Okay. But
I think I saw today that there's at least 2 artists are going to be able to squeeze into this year's festival. One of them being Mac Brown.
Yeah, Mac Brown, and I can now confidently say that the artist Satter from China, who visited Jasper somewhat haphazardly last August, will be returning here to paint a mural. She lands in Canada on May 13th.
Cool.
And she is a stunning modern mural artist with pieces in centers as far-reaching as Paris to Beirut, Germany, She's very liberally represented across Canada, and just an absolutely stunning artist.
Cool. We'll trust your judging keen eye, as it sounds like you've made a great choice for the body that chooses these artists. Has made a great choice. The festival's brought a lot to this town, as have you over the years. I'm curious if there's a spot, if there's somewhere. I mean, being a musician, being a painter, an artist in general, is there somewhere in life where where the music world and the painting world intersect for you?
I can't imagine painting without music. It is constantly in the background. Music guides and informs my artistic themes. Each and every painting is music shapes my artistic imagination, and I think it would be impossible for me to execute a painting without music. I like going into the minds of different artists and basing my paintings on themes and genres, and the Cities of Color series, for example, was inspired by music from the dark wave genre, and even though the paintings are vibrant and bright, there is a dark undercurrent in each one of them and that's where you see the melancholic tonalities and themes of dark wave music coming through.
I definitely get that. For those of you who haven't seen the exhibit, go check it out. And if you can keep this band Piano Magic in the back of your head while you're enjoying Greg's work, this band Piano Magic I'm about to play, when I asked you to bring music, this was in the forefront of your mind. This song that we're going to play a couple, but the first one is called Luxembourg Gardens, and it's a real trip. It takes a lot of twists and turns from before it ends. So let's just put it on for the listeners here. inspire me. I'm just trying to picture you painting those pieces to this music. It's fascinating. What does it inspire in you?
It's the mood of piano magic, and no, they're artsy. It's music in a minor key, and that really compels me. And there's developments like the one you're about to hear.
Certainly not a band you could pigeonhole, that's for sure. I would never know what genre to identify that as, which is amazing.
I'm similarly challenged. It's if the word that comes to mind is ghostly, and I guess in the context of Cities of Color, the reason why Piano Magic has helped to guide that series is because they do sort of take you on a walk. All of their music moves at a walking pace. It's dark. It's late night music. It sort of puts you in the vantage of a lone stranger walking through a city of color late at night, looking into some of the interior spaces that appear in each of the vignettes that comprise the series.
I like that. I was reading up on them a little bit because I hadn't heard of them before he brought them to my attention. And their Apple Music profile, which I assume they had something to do with the writing of, describes them, at least in part, as an ever-shifting UK ensemble, a restless and eclectic act, consistent only in its devotion to a dark, melancholy aesthetic.
Well, there it is.
There it is. But I liked your explanation about just how it's always moving. You chose one more song. That first song, for those listening, was from 2003, an album called Heart Machinery. This next song you're about to hear, Incurable Reprise, is from 2007's Part Monster. Again, this is Piano Magic.
To shake their hands, a chain around the bed. They're looking for a reason to why I'm still not dead. The medicine's not working, I haven't slept for days. The light is shone right through me, the skeleton as well. Incurable, I'm helpless, mind and body weak. I have so much to tell
All right. Well, again, that was Piano Magic. Thanks for introducing me and the listeners to that incredible band, Greg. That was spectacular. Hard to believe that was the same band for both songs. Like I said before, they just defy all genres of music. And I think the boys are here eavesdropping on our every word. We've got Johnny Strugnell, Wade Rimstad, and Scotty Crabbe sitting in listening here. You boys like that Piano Magic? I could tell Scotty did. He's all worked up over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could tell you like that. How couldn't you?
Like inclinations of Jonathan Cage came creeping in at the end of that first track. I thought with the creaking of the floorboards.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that sort of thing.
Yeah. While the mics were off there, I said to Greg, it reminds me a lot of, it's like Portishead meets the XX or something. It's dark and empty, but very, very full. I like that a lot.
yeah, that's that. I like that. Don't be shy, Johnny. Get in snug beside Greg there so we can hear you better.
So I don't know. I mean, I can't talk a lot about John Cage because I don't know a lot, but I did hear that when he was recording, and this would have been a few decades ago, I suppose, he would hold concerts in piano halls, and the auditorium would be full, and the microphones would be rolling, and there would be relative silence, save for the murmur of the crowds, the flickering of Zippos, the lighting of cigarettes, because you could back in those days, the creaking of floorboards, the scuffling of feet, and all of this would be going on, and eventually he would come to the stage, and he would sit down at the piano, and he would crack knuckles and crumple paper and lick his fingers, and then he would underline all of the staff on the pages, lick his finger and go like this, and then he would do the other page, and then he would turn the page, and the microphones would be rolling, and there would be absolute nothing being played on the 88 keys for the first 45 minutes to an hour and a half, because all he was doing was recording the sounds, and then later on would incorporate all of that into his composition. So
I can dig it.
Brilliant.
I'd be upset if I bought tickets to that show.
You would know what you're getting into.
Well, it's not like it's Madonna making you wait for like 3 hours so she can lip sync or whatever. It's John Cage, right? I mean, I'm talking genius here. I didn't even know about John Cage till same old teacher, Gord Downey, teaching me about everything that's fucking hip in this country.
I still don't know John Cage. This is my first time hearing.
I read about him just because of Gord.
Nice.
But I like that, Scotty. Thanks for. It was like you just wrote a poem or something. I don't know if you stole every word of that.
well, this is I don't know. I love getting into these little thought patterns, and I very rarely do, unless I'm around the likes of Deagle. He brings out something in me that not a lot of people can, and he has for years, because I've known him for years.
Scotty's in the rhubarb, folks.
I don't know. I love
in the
guy.
weeds. Yeah.
I love that we're hanging out in here with him tonight.
We're all very lucky for that.
I think so.
I pictured this a while ago. If you remember me, you guys were sitting around the Legion, and I could just picture smashing your skulls together till something brilliant came out. And now here we are. So, what did you think about that Piano Magic, Johnny?
Yeah, like I said, I love the darkness. I live by it. I want to compare it to a lot of things, but I don't think that it does it justice. It is its own beast. But yeah, like I said, it's very kind of early trip hoppy in a lot of senses, even though it has that full sound. It's again comparatively, but very Sigur Rós.
I can see that. Yeah.
with the full orchestration. And again, what I love about that, and they've been one of my favorite bands for 20 plus years now, is they sound like the Stark Stone Iceland. Where are these guys from?
They're from the UK.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, depending on where you're from, but I guess, for as far as music choices go, further on in the show, I have my choice, another UK band.
That you do? Yeah.
And well, two actually. Yeah. I've got an English band and a Scottish band up for my playlists. And they're very in contrast to one another, but I did choose a light-hearted one for my second choice. But yeah, I really dig it. I can get behind the piano magic.
Yeah, no, it was a trip for sure. I really dug it. Well, speaking of your picks, we'll get to yours in a bit, but let's start with Scotty's. I know Scotty's been having second thoughts here after Greg brought Piano Magic to the table, but I liked yours, Scotty's. I'd never heard them before. I mean, obviously, I'd heard of the band, Elliot Brood. I never expected a folk rock band out of Toronto to be singing about chuck wagons, but they do it well. It's certainly... So we start with a real quick interlude called The Spring Floods, which flows into Chuck Wagon, which is definitely not folk. It's more rock than folk. I just kept thinking of chuck wagons, and you feel like you're on this reckless, you're just recklessly bounding your way around this track. Horses are a wreck by the time you're just hanging on to the edge of this chuck wagon for the whole ride. I'll let you all hear what I'm talking about here, but I'd be surprised if any of these individuals or horses made it out alive by the time this song was done.
That train just keeps on rolling. I like that.
Yeah, it was a fucking bloodbath by the end of that, I'm sure. Those chuck wagon races are known for being not sparing anybody, Scotty, and I don't think that song spared any of us.
What
That
made
was
you
wicked,
choose that?
very intense.
Well, no. So what you do is you go skiers right and get about 2/3 of your plank hanging over, and then you drop straight down. So you hit play on the interlude, and you let that banjo overcome you with calm.
Right.
And then, as soon as the first guitar of Chuck Wagon,
Nobody in the history has ever said that.
Nobody's
Let
ever
the banjo
skied. Nobody's
overcome
ever
you with
ridden.
calm.
Nobody's ever ridden to that music
yeah,
except
exactly.
for you.
And then once you breathe in and you breathe out, and then the first guitars of Chuck Wagon start, that's when you drop. And you don't drop. You don't angle your planks right or left. You go straight down, skiers right, off the peak. And then you let that guitar carry you all the way down to the new cat track, and then you open up and you do big swoopy swoops all the way down the cat track. You cut under the old knob, you do the right down the old cat track, and you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going. And by the time you slide back into the corral at Eagle Ridge, the train is a coming. And then you get back on Eagle Ridge, and then you go all the way back up, and then you take Solus, you go back down Solus because it's been perfectly groomed for the last month, and it carries you all the way back to the corrals at the new knob lift, and you rinse and you repeat, and you come out baptized basin style.
Wow,
That's
There you
too
go.
much, man.
that's why Scott is.
That's why we brought you along.
That's why
Scotty.
Scott.
Holy fuck. And you wanted to change that
Oh,
pick.
man.
We never would have got that fucking gem out of you if we had played another tune.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. I love how we tied the train into it and everything. Eh? That was fucking dynamite. Right on.
I can dig it.
So you got your answer there, Johnny? You found out why you picked it?
No, no.
Just keep it in mind because
What is that? Did you ride to that yesterday?
I ride to that every day.
Yeah.
That is my church. Well, every Sunday, that is my church.
Well, I definitely have a new appreciation for it. So you brought another tune with you. You said you had Johnny in mind with this one.
Oh yeah, I know what's coming.
This is a nice pick. I obviously enjoy this pick. This song is called "Blood of a Young Wolf" by the artist Buck 65. Born Richard to Fry, the man is an absolute legend in Canadian hip hop. Actually, Buck 65 was the first show that my aspiring company, Rockin' Mount Productions, promoted here in Jasper. Buck 65 at the Athabee.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
That was fun, eh?
Mitch Maddock opening. Oh
You
man,
took the words out of my mouth.
Mitch Maddock was unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, that
I
was,
still listen to that EP as often as I can find it. That CD hides around my house, and every time I find it, it goes into a player for sure.
well, I got him in my contacts. I've been looking for an excuse to send him a message. You give me a time and a place. Well, we'll get Mitch back to town.
I would love to meet him, hang out with him, and let him know.
That was fun. Yeah, that show was the summer of 2012. Hard to believe it. 12 fucking
12
years. Ago. Yeah.
That can I talk for 1 second first? That's
Yeah, please
crazy.
do.
That's like growing up in Halifax. Buck was, he's part of the scene. I was in the hip hop scene back home, and he was at the shows and he was DJing breakdancing competitions for us, and he it was all part of the scene. And I can't imagine 12 years since that show, and that would be like all through public school years that he would have been honing that craft to.
Amazing.
That's
Was he going by Buck 65, or was that Stinkin' Rich, or was he Jesus Murphy at one point?
that was Buck 65 years, but all the music that he was credited on back in the Trailer Park Boys days, that was all under Stinkin' Rich, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But around the same time, but yeah, he was still under Buck 65 at the time.
Well, we can let it roll while you tell us some stories, Johnny. They sound like wicked stories. Let's put on Buck 65, Blood of a Young Wolf.
So good.
Summer, oh my god, I'm hot to steal. Beside myself in friendless number. I ain't got no culture, nothing. Dirty words, but that don't count. Flight attendants, waitresses, superstition, good amount. There's work to do, hell to pay. Memories and fingerprints, calling Papa ignorance. And I don't wanna go. Sick and tired. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. It's an egg and spoon race, slow and steady. Desert highway, El Viento. Still I'm stuck, I can't afford it. Picture, postcard, small memento. Echo, shadow, sterling silver, burning furnace. Frozen nowhere, just a kid. I had a friend named Deadly Ernest. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in my arm. Praise the heavens, call the cops, relax. There's no cause for alarm. Diamond rings and little babies, startlements and miracles. I remember pretty faces, so severe and lyrical. I'm talking Amelia Earhart, Nico Case, Frida Kahlo, all alone the way it should be. I don't even need a shadow. Seeds of wisdom found no purchase. We don't even have a chance. Birthday party, Armageddon, long stem roses, avalanche. Broken fingers going nowhere fast and screeching to a halt. All that work for nothing. Oh, whipping boy, it's all my fault. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech, tech. Go to pieces, easy going, afraid to fly, and so I'm running. Catching fish and chopping wood, the revolution, slow time coming. I don't know what else to do. Cross my fingers, teach the children. Read your fortune, storm the studios. Come on, all ye faithful pilgrims. No more same old song and dance. Some good ideas get overplayed. I eat my breakfast, ride my bike, and knife between my shoulder blades. See, I'm a man of many problems, up against some scary odds. We kill, we hide, we all fall down. Idiots love to bury gods. It doesn't happen overnight, though never still. I'm filled with wonder, lonely like the tightrope walker, hitchhiker, long distance runner. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Good night for you, bad night for me, but I still love you lying down. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. I tried your shoes on, cigarettes and crucifixes. Ingmar Bergman, Alphonse Mouzon. Really boring modern music, really boring modern girl. Get me out of here, I'm drowning. I don't like this modern world. Anti-intellect and marketing. Pretty, who needs talent? Crying eyes, we're so outnumbered. Fight for the right to remain silent. But what do I know? Who am I? My two left feet, my big dumb face. I'd do the same if I had the chance. Cheat the system, rig the race. It's all one big misunderstanding. Inside out, I turn my coat. Don't look back, don't move a muscle. One false move, that's all she wrote. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech. Zoom, kick, persuasion, tech, tech.
Well, that was Buck 65 with Blood of a Young Wolf. What a great track. We were just talking about the 2012 show that Rocky Mountain Productions put on at the Athabee, and what a blast that was.
Yeah, that was a hell of a show.
The show was like a real highlight of my life. I was lucky enough to pick Rich and Mitch up in Edmonton at the airport, and the whole drive back, Rich just sat in the back pretty nonchalantly, pretty coolly, just DJing the whole way back.
Oh, wow.
So I had Rich to fry.
That's the original drive.
Yeah, exactly. I had my own personal drive. For those of you who don't know, Rich hosts a show every afternoon called Drive for a couple hours every day. And yeah, for 3.5 hours or so, Rich DJ'd the whole way back. Told a few stories about when he used to play college ball and before he blew his shoulder out. And yeah, it was definitely a highlight of my life. So I appreciate you picking that, Scotty. And I can tell Johnny does too.
That, yeah, those were the golden days. I mean, hip hop in Halifax is unbelievable right now as well. But back then, the golden days, like, what is the name of the record store where Scratch Bastard worked as well? And we would go down there and, you know, I got friends buying spray cans and like new nozzles for their spray cans, and we'd be flipping through, and Paul would be spinning and working in the record store, and man, those were the golden days.
I forgot Scratch was from out there. His brother used to live in Hinton. I don't know if he still does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I heard that through a friend of a friend, but
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Good pick, Scotty.
Good times.
Good pick, Scotty. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We
Most
got
excellent.
we got Wade's picks up next. So Wade's got two here. We're gonna start with one called 1922 Blues by an artist called Charlie Parr. He's a roots musician from Minnesota. And from what I can gather, the title of the song, 1922 Blues, while it came out in 2003, the title really reflects an era in which Parr draws his inspiration. Is that right, Wade?
Yeah, I'd say it definitely is. He kind of plays that open D, kind of Travis picking kind of style thing with kind of barks the vocals and stuff like that, right? He's an older guy, and I think he kind of got famous, or he's gotten a lot bigger in his 40s and 50s.
Okay, yeah.
I think he lives in his van also. Like, I think he's a pretty hardcore guy, yeah.
Down by the river?
Yeah, possibly
Probably.
next to a
Yeah.
river.
If you want to live somewhere nice.
Likely
with
a highway.
See.
Rivers are kind of spoken for these days.
You can't find a good river nowadays.
Everybody's working
Certainly
from
not
home,
around
right?
here. Try sleeping down by the Athabasca or the...
That won't fly.
No, you'll get run out of the park for sure. So yeah, this is 1922 Blues by Minnesota's Charlie Parr.
Well, I worked all summer, couldn't save a cent. I gave all of my money to the government. I don't know quite how I got spent, but the banks are coming for my deed, boy. Man at the mill can't see, boy. Let me get my feet for free, boy.
Well, that was 1922 Blues by Charlie Parr. Thanks to Wade for picking that. I really dug that, man. Yet again, you're bringing a tune to the table that I never would have found if you hadn't have brought it to me first.
It's a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah, that's why I dig this. That's a big part of our grassroots ethos. Say that 5 times fast.
Grassroots. Oh, I can't even do it once.
No, it's real hard, man. I gotta practice.
I'll practice for next week.
Every morning I practice in the mirror. Grassroots ethos.
Your wife's like, "What are you doing in there?"
Grassroots ethos, grassroots ethos.
Almost had it. Charlie Parr, like one of my top 4 must-see artists, and so every like couple months I always Google to see if they're playing anywhere.
Right.
And they're always playing in the States because they're probably maybe like Charlie Parr is pretty small, Sean Hayes is pretty small, Canada's too broad to travel in, and I'm not allowed to go to the States.
You and me both, brother.
Hold strong. But he's coming to Canada and he's playing in Calgary for their folk fest.
Oh,
this
word,
year.
word.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go.
Yeah, let's do it
Seeing
together.
as we can't go to the States.
Yeah. It's a garbage country.
Well, I didn't feel like getting shot in the face anyways. But we'll jump on the Icefields Parkway and we'll make a fucking road trip out of it.
Yeah, Grassroots Radio road trip.
You keep me posted on the dates, man. So you mentioned Sean Hayes. That's your second pick. The song is called 3 a.m. from a 2006 album called Big Black Hole and a Little Baby Star.
So, Sean Hayes. So this song it was 2006, and I was working in construction, and I was driving one of those Packers.
Whereabouts? In Edmonton?
In Edmonton. Yeah.
Okay.
I was driving one of those Packers. Like the packs the road.
Yeah,
Was it a big roller around it?
Before you
Yeah,
ash,
looks like
before
a
they
steamroller.
before they pave it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a steamroller essentially.
That'd be a cool job.
Yeah, it was okay.
Did you ever do that Austin Powers thing?
Boiling hot.
Where you get stuck in a hallway, you have to turn around. No, that's the cart.
Yeah, I'd always try and run guys over if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what it is. And he says, "Ah," and he yells and yells for 30 seconds.
Oh, that was like that year. That was like the joke on the construction site.
Because you're going super slow, right?
Yeah, very slow. But I was also very high, so I mean, I wouldn't have seen it coming.
So you do like one length of asphalt with like a lit stick, a cigarette dangling.
Yeah.
And then you would get to the end of that length, turn around,
Light another
throw
cigarette.
the stick down, roll over it, light a joint, get to the end of that line, throw the roach out, roll over it, light the cigarette, and then just keep going back.
Exact-
2006. So what
exact
was this on
description.
like a seat, like a Discman?
So
or
that's so
a
it was
Walkman.
it was on
or
a
what?
flip phone.
A
It was
flip
on a
phone.
flip phone,
Okay.
and I had free music downloads, and this was one of them.
Okay.
And I loved it so much, so I would just tuck it into my hard hat, and I would just listen to it on repeat.
That's cool,
all the
man.
time.
So you've been holding on to it. You've just been digging this tune for almost 18 years. now?
18 years.
Wicked,
yeah.
wicked. That's what I like to
You
hear,
can't make
man.
that story up.
3 a.m. Sean Hayes. Get out your steamrollers, folks. Light up a spliff. Here we go.
In the morning, closing in, living in pain, living in sin. Keep it simple, man, you're gonna make it out. Keep it simple, man, you're gonna make it out. Red walls, looking for distraction. Red walls, looking for distraction. Keep it simple, man, you're gonna make it out. Simple, simple, man, you're gonna make it out. 2CB, cigarette smoke. Sunday night is long and cold. Keep it simple, man, you're gonna make it out. It's all over, man, you're gonna make it out. Broken hand, broken wall, broken love, crash and fall. Simple, simple, man, you're gonna make it out. Keep it simple, man, you're gonna make it out. Get up, girl, heard you sing. Get up, girl, sing for me. Keep it simple, now you're gonna make it out. It's all over, man, you're gonna make like that. A fire comes and you can't strike back. It's all over, just like that. A fire comes and you can't strike back. It's all over, just like that. When the fire comes, you can't strike back. Now it's all over, just like that. A fire comes and you can't strike back. Desire is burning me inside out. Desire is burning me inside out.
Yeah, I really dig that. Thanks, Wade. That was Sean Hayes with 3 a.m. from his 2006 album Big Black Hole and a Little Baby Star. Now, for those of you who watch the show Kyle XY, that song was featured on it. If you're a fan of the Be Good Tanyas, you may have heard the song 1,000 Tiny Pieces, which is in fact a cover of a Sean Hayes song. And if you're like me and you love the HBO series Bored to Death, starring Jason Schwartzman, Zach Galifianakis, and Ted Danson, you may have heard his song Fucked Me Right Up in episode 2. You were really digging that, Greg.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of Wade's selections. The Sean Hayes one in particular really conjured a nice imagery. Hot sunny afternoon, camping in a van down by the highway, watching the river go by in the distance.
Yeah, right, in the distance.
Yeah, just had a really nice laid back summer quality. And the first one, boy, the clarity of that guitar picking was just out of sight. I really enjoyed that. Who was that artist?
Charlie Parr.
Charlie Parr. I always want to say Charlie Parker.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a riff on that, maybe.
It could be. But there's also Hayes Carl, so it starts to get confusing after a while.
Right.
But no, those were really nice selections. I enjoyed Scott's too. In particular, the Chuck Wagon piece, just the way he described it, it was just spiraling out of control there.
Yeah, the boys bring it. There's a reason I invite them.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we got Johnny's picks up next. The ever eclectic Johnny Strugnell.
Thank you, Greg.
And he did not disappoint. Besides the name of this band, the song's quite nice, but we can get into the name of the band later, Johnny. Just because the band's got a shitty name doesn't mean the music ain't good. But that's just my opinion. This is Elbow. The song is called Starlings. This is an English rock band formed originally in 1997. Originally, they were called Mr. Soft, then Soft, but then they got their act together and they thought, let's be called Elbow instead. So let's hear what Starlings by Elbow sounds like.
How dare the Premier ignore my invitations? He'll have to go. So to the bunchy luncheons with it's second on my list of things to do. At the top is stopping by your place of work and acting like I haven't dreamed of you and I, and marriage in an orange grove. You are the only thing in any room you're ever in. I'm stubborn, selfish and too old. Sat you down and told you how the truest love that's ever found is for oneself. You pulled apart my theory with a weary and disinterested sigh. So yes, I guess I'm asking you to back a horse that's good for glue and nothing else. But find a man that's true then. Find a man that needs you more than I. Sit with me a while and let me listen to you talk about your dreams and your obsessions. I'll be quiet and confessional. The violets explode inside me when I meet your eyes. Then I'm spinning and I'm diving like a cloud of stars. Darling, is this love?
Makes me think of space travel.
Maybe you're in some sort of craft and you're just blasting the horn for someone to get out of the way.
It is called Starling, so maybe it's not about the birds, but those flying amongst the stars.
Space train. It is so evocative. The music, the lyrics, the build-up, the horns, the softness of the strings, the everything is just so, it just builds and it builds and it builds. Darling, is this love? Oh, forget about it. It's so good.
Thanks, Johnny. You brought it as always.
Shall we get into the next tune?
Yeah, let's roll right into your next one, seeing as I spoiled the intro there.
That's all right.
Being a little sleeping on the board here. Your next tune is from a band called Boards of Canada. The song is, if I'm saying this right, Roy G. Biv.
Yeah, Roy G. Biv. Yeah.
Roy G. Biv. They're not actually from Canada, although they did spend a brief stint in Calgary when their father was building the Saddle Dome. Or so says my research. In 1979-80, Dad helped build the Saddle Dome in Calgary. But they are from Scotland. They're the brothers Michael Sadison and Marcus Ian.
Ian, yeah.
Ian.
Yeah.
This song is from their 1998 album, critically acclaimed, I read. Music Has the Right to Children. Great title.
Can I say one thing before you get into it?
Please do.
Yeah. So they are the Boards of Canada. Lots of really cool references to Canada within their music. They sample a lot of old National Film Board stuff, and a lot of their album art and song titles are all references to Canadian. I would say Canadian pop culture from the 70s and 80s. really, and when you listen to it, everything is just really retrospective. And if you have never heard it before, there's a term I like to use when you hear something, but you feel like you already know it. I like to say it's nostalgic.
That's cool. I dig that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all their music is very nostalgic.
You made that up.
Yeah, it's my word. It's why I'm on your show, man.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
fact
true.
check that
That's
during
true.
the song.
Yeah,
John.
please do, Wade. But
Please do.
he
I
is quick-witted enough that he probably did come up with it himself, or somebody stole it from him. But
I did not come up with it right now. I used that. In fact, the first time I ever used it was in reference to Guy Benoit's music.
Okay.
Because all of Guy's music, you feel like is already part of you. Maybe I'll bring a Guy song next time, actually. Yeah.
bring it.
Why don't I just bring Guy to the studio?
Bring him.
Why don't we just bring Guy?
it.
Why bring his music? Why don't
Tell
we
him
just
to bring a
him?
guitar and come join us.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. All right. This is Roy Jabiv, Boards of Canada, straight out of Scotland. Well, that was Johnny's second pick. If you missed it, that was Roy Jabiv by Boards of Canada from their 1998 album, Music Has the Right to Children. So you didn't disappoint, John. You never do.
I like the little your intonation on Roy Jabiv.
Well, yeah. I got to nail it, right? It's like ROYGBIV.
They cover the full spectrum, don't they?
I was just trying to nail that.
I was really digging the little sort of Steely Dan bass line on that.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I can hear that now that you say it. Yeah.
Everything's a little like weirdly slightly detuned in a lot of their music as well. There's a lot of weird modulation and flange and like weird sounds that it sounds it sounds like you're listening to it on a tape that's been played a little bit too much. And it's all meant to sound like that. And it's just, that's part of the nostalgia.
Nostalgia. There's a word for you, folks. Well, I got to thank you all so much for bringing these stellar tunes and help me make the most of episode number 2. That went even more smoothly than episode 1. We worked out some kinks in the technology aspect of the show. You all have your homework, which is find some new music for the next episode. And my script is telling me that we have an outro ahead. I got 2 tunes to roll out on. The first one is not quite as eclectic and eccentric as Johnny's picks, but I'm hoping you'll dig it. First one's called The Turnaround. The band is called 8.5. This song is from their only album, sadly. It's a self-titled album. It's a trio made up of Broken Social Scene's drummer Justin Peroff and Dave Hamlin and Liam O'Neill of The Stills. And again, this song is called The Turnaround, and I really dig it. I hope you all do too. So yeah, that was The Turnaround by 8.5. I really dig that tune. I got one more. We're just gonna say ciao for now. It's not goodbye. This is the Darcys with their 2022 cover of Crowded House's 1986, Don't Dream It's Over. Until next time, thanks for listening. This has been Grassroots Radio.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch a deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world goes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. Now I'm towing my car. There's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today, tales of war and of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. Now I'm walking again to the beat of a drum, and I'm counting the steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the roof. Get to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream